Hi, this is Matt from Gold Team, and today we'll be discussing some zombies theories for Black Ops 2. Now, most of what I'm going to be telling you is based off the Richtofen Easter eggs, because that's what I've been following throughout the zombie storyline. I don't know too much about Maxis, but if I do know anything about him, I will throw that in here. We will start by trying to figure out why Stuhlinger is the only one able to hear Richtofen give directions. We will start with the solo loading intro in the map Diarize. It features Samuel Stuhlinger talking to some sort of voice, which has to be Richtofen. The voice tells Stuhlinger two things that really stand out. First, he tells Stuhlinger to mend the rift. Now, as the first time playing it, you would have no idea what that's supposed to mean. The voice also mentions the flesh, and Stuhlinger responds by saying that if the rest of the group knew, they would have to kill him. Now that brings up a lot of questions. What is this flesh that he's talking about? The rift is officially introduced in the solo intro for the map Buried. You spawn in on a giant mining tower. Next to it will be a ginormous hole in the ground. Rustman will usually make a comment saying that their hole is the rift or something along those lines. If you follow the Richtofen side of the Easter egg, you are told to give power to the tower that is above ground. The rift really doesn't have too much importance as far as I've noticed. Stuhlinger doesn't really mention it, nor does Richtofen. Why does Stuhlinger have to mend the rift if you don't even need it? Now I'm actually going to get into why only Stuhlinger can hear Richtofen. Now, Stuhlinger always talks about being hungry. Now, this is a really obscure theory, but just listen. In the map Transit, when you're first starting out, I noticed that Stuhlinger said, "Oh, now you're just making me hungry." On Buried, he would say that he hopes that there was a food court in the middle of the hedge maze. And when you use the ray gun, he says that, "Is that bacon?" It's weird, but maybe he had a snack that was actually just zombie flesh. And since Richtofen is in control of these zombies, maybe since he has part of these zombies in him, he's able to hear what Richtofen is telling these zombies. And so Richtofen notices this, and he's trying to get Stuhlinger to do what he wants. This is why the rest of the group can't hear him. Another theory is possibly that Stuhlinger is infected in part of his body, but not fully. So he's still human, but has a partial bit of zombie in him. This would make it so he's able to hear Richtofen, since Richtofen is in control of the zombies. If the rest of the group isn't infected, then they won't be able to hear Richtofen. People since Transit have been questioning the importance of the nav cards. If you get the nav card from Buried and put it in the Transit nav card table, it will accept it successfully. If you take the Transit nav card and put it in the Diarize nav card slot after that, it will also be accepted successfully. If you take the Diarize nav card and then put it in the Buried nav card table, that will also be accepted successfully. This has to have some sort of tie to the last Easter egg. Treyarch wouldn't just put this in for no apparent reason. They added EMP grenades to Transit to deal with the Electric Man. Things like that. They only put things into zombies for a specific purpose. If it hasn't done anything for us yet, it will definitely do something in the last DLC. As far as the location of the last map goes, it's really hard to tell. There haven't been many clues throughout the game, but players can theorize based on where the maps have already taken place. We've seen some in the US, we've seen some in Germany, we've seen some in Japan, and even on the moon. That leaves Treyarch not that many places to choose from unless they're going to revisit maybe a few places in just one map. While on the topic of the last map, I think that the Easter egg will involve the nav cards, and unless you do the nav card step, you won't be able to progress through certain parts. This is why I suggest that you get this done now, so you won't have to worry about it later. I'm very excited to see what this last Easter egg is going to bring us, but I think that it will include either Richtofen gaining full control over all the zombies and finally gaining control of the world as he always wanted to, or Maxis finally being able to leave the Aether with Samantha. These are just some of my theories, and I think that they might happen. If you have any comments, leave them in the comments. I'll try to get back to you. Leave some of your opinions on what you think might happen too. Thanks. Have a nice day.